Can you put it up there?
Is it audible?
Yes, thank you.
Great. I'm the general manager for InvoiceMate in Pakistan. So I have a question for the telecos and in general that we talk about financial inclusion for SMEs, right? But the companies in Pakistan are sitting on such huge ecosystems like Jazz, like Telenor. They're sitting on huge ecosystems of vendors and retailers and everywhere. And yet when we go to banks for partnerships, the banks say that we have a lot of fund that we want to give away as financing to SMEs. But because of lack of trust in the profiles, no systems, we can't do that. So my question is that why don't we, as telecos, as big corporations sitting on big ecosystems, collaborate and help them create profiles so that the flow of money can be, regulated in the country? So this is for the teleco guys. You can just light some shade on.
Michael, you're a telco guy.
Yeah, if I understood the question properly, creating profiles of businesses that deal with us so that they can, and the small businesses and people who use mobile money. I think that was clearly the initial dream, and I think we've failed miserably at it. In that people do transact with us. They do take small loans. They do. And we are not very good at creating profiles for them. The whole intent of the microfinance and the mobile money industry was not to take business from the banks or the traditional banks, was in some way to create a field where we could seed growth in the use of financial services so that people could graduate into more traditional banking that had higher limits and so on. Because the banks didn't want to deal with people who had very low requirements. So we've done very poorly at this. But the technologies that have been discussed today that allow us to create unalterable records of what's going on and in terms of the transactions you make, the loan repayments. We have a couple of businesses in Africa where we're doing this. We would end up at the end of a loan, even if it's a small loan for a motorcycle or so, with a certificate that said you have paid back your loan and now you can maybe go get credit somewhere else. We've not done very well at this, but the technologies are now available, and I would think that it would be important for us to fulfill our mandate, to actually create real financial inclusion and agency in the financial environment of the countries that we serve, be it here or in Africa where I am right now, to actually create a real record of those kind of transactions. Because traditional credit bureaus don't do that here, and we're not integrated into them. But so we've done a poor job at it. There's no doubt about this point. But we should be doing better.
Any other questions?
Mike here, please.
Should I ask?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael Foley, professor
Here.
Vice Chancellor of Karakoram University, Gilgit. We invited you at City University when I was Vice Chancellor there. I have two questions. What do you think is the future of Pakistan in the emerging and disruptive technologies? What is the future of Pakistan in the emerging and disruptive technologies, and what you would suggest for the universities?
Well, I'm Canadian. We're humble. We don't suggest anything. I mean, we try to just think and talk and discuss. What I've come to love in the now 9 years that I've been involved with this incredible place is, and I'll give you an example of that, disruptive. And this is maybe not a unique concept anywhere in the world, but I had two young men come to me from Peshawar about a month after I got here. And they came to me, one of them was hearing impaired, and they came to me with a smartphone. And they came to me and said, now we've got a headset, and we've got a microphone. And we've run a program on Android to test the hearing of my friend here that is hearing impaired. And then with any reasonably cheap phone after that, we can take that algorithm, put it in the phone, and this becomes a portable, cheap hearing aid for anybody that doesn't have it. Now, at the time, we had an incubator. We gave it to the incubator. I've lost track of what they've done. But over and over and over again, be it in birth registrations, be it in flood relief when I was at the Ravi River, not the floods that just happened, but the ones a few years ago. The ability to innovate and create is really strong. And it's because, it's invention is, comes from necessity, and there is a lot here. So I think mobile financial services have done very well here. For a while, we were the largest outside of maybe Safaricom and the Chinese market in terms of mobile financial services. I think we've not continued to innovate to the point that you were making earlier. I think we need to continue down this area. And I do think that the horsepower exists here in the men and women coming out of universities to look at these new technologies that we've discussed, be it generative AI yesterday, which has exploded and surprised everybody. Now that's assisted intelligence, it's augmented intelligence, it's artificial intelligence, alien intelligence. All these things that come up, and all the things we talked about, blockchain and metaverse and so on. I was so chuffed to see not an entertainment business, but an actual financial services company come up with a metaverse iteration of what they're doing. We just need to remember, yes, there's a fire in the kitchen. We have to put it out. We have to rebuild the kitchen. But the world is moving up at a faster pace. Continue to invest in education in this part of the business.
Thank you, Michael. If I could just